A reading from the letter to the Hebrews. Brothers and sisters, since we have a great high priest who has passed through the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold fast to our confession. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who has similarly been tested in every way, yet without sin. So let us confidently approach the throne of grace to receive mercy and to find grace for timely help. The Word of the Lord.
Our second reading for this Sunday is taken from the letter to the Hebrews. We have been reflecting on being with Jesus in true service, learning the spirit of true service by being with Jesus. In the first reading from the prophet Isaiah, the figure of the suffering servant of God is presented to us. A true servant, doing God's will, giving oneself for the good of many, for the justification of many from sin, but in the process, bearing the guilt of others. The service of this great figure entails the capacity even to suffer. Not because one enjoys suffering, but because I want to serve. And in my total service, I will embrace everything, including suffering, in order to complete my service of God and neighbor. We know that this prophecy of Isaiah is fulfilled in Jesus. The second reading gives us Jesus, the high priest. In the heavens, the high priest was already entered the heavenly tabernacle. This is the Jesus who had already suffered indignities, betrayals, who underwent crucifixion and died on the cross. The Jesus who was buried and now is risen from the dead. In the language of the letter to the Hebrews, this Jesus, the servant, has entered the heavenly sanctuary as our high priest. Now, brothers and sisters, in our worldly way of looking at things and at human affairs, we might conclude, wow, this Jesus is now the high priest in the heavenly tabernacle. And Jesus, the high priest, triumphant over sin and death, is now the boss, the master, in fact, the universal king. And we should call him that. But even there in heaven, seated at the right hand of God the Father, our high priest, the risen, victorious Lord, continues to serve. He serves as our intercessor, as our mediator. How can someone now in glory continue to serve? Because in our human world, those who are glorified stop serving. They are the ones who expect to be served. What are we in power for? We often hear. What is the use of my glorious state if I do not enjoy the service of others? I expect to be served and not to serve. But Jesus is different. Living in eternal glory, the eternal glory of the Father, He remains to be our brother, who was perfected by suffering. He was tempted in every way. He experienced human weakness. And even in heaven, He remembers us. His compassion does not end. And with that eternally compassionate heart, He will forever serve His brothers and sisters, interceding for all of us before the Father. So, our glorious Lord is glorious in His eternal service as High Priest. My dear brothers and sisters, let us not forget, we may be given positions of glory and power, but just like Jesus, never lose the compassionate heart. Continue to serve others.